He thinks that's fantastic, and he will go far. It's the only way you go anywhere. Some nice little hand gestures as he's doing all this duality thing possibly here, and this is Gary Barlow. I'm not really aware of Gary Barlow. He's probably some Tommy superstar. Maybe he was a soccer player, I'm not sure. I think that could be it. Love the Bassie doing, we see Kate and Michelle, the typical turnip idea, and then nice little purpley pink jacket there. Let him just say that one more time there. He's up there, a good boy. He's up there, a good. He's up there, he's up. He's up there, a good. He's up there, a good boy. He's up there, a good. He's up there, a good. He's up there, a good. He's up there, a good boy. He's up farming around. He's a girl, a good boy. I'm not loving it. And I might as well share this in this video. I'll certainly look at this a bit more, but I just want to throw this up because a few people might have some ideas here. We're looking for a fro baby, definitely. The fro is in because this one certainly had the fro according to this picture here. But there's something funny about these pictures too. Really strange indeed. And certainly long arms. And this is a big thing they do, of course, this little puff shoulder thing, because it's not a shoulder, it's just the puff of the dress type idea. And the hair, somebody was saying it's been straightened. I got this from a friend of mine's auntie. I was saying to this friend of mine about it, and they said, oh look, yeah, my auntie was saying that she had a fro. And so I looked it up, and sure as hell, I hadn't looked at the earlier imagery here. Very long. It was the faraway eyes, Megan, of the mark of L. But certainly no throwing lady is only this one here. Not a lot registered here. Either. Pretty quickly all other people. Maybe this is. Here we go. Definitely got the Stanley Ann Dunham idea going on here, hairstyle wise, but now we're straight here. I don't know who this is, somebody else. Pretty quickly the pictures of somebody else. Oh look, Winona Ryder. Well, no prizes here, is there? Freak out. A bit of a fro idea. And Harry's got a bit of a sort of fro concept going, so we could have a red fro. That'll be interesting in the armour. So, just have to wait and see what the dish reveals. And they roll that out. It'll certainly be big in Africa, there's no doubt about that. There's an interesting earlier picture. Still fro-like here. And it all says put at the back here. Certainly we've gone very straight here when we change to Megan. Change from Rachel to Megan. And the gap in the teeth. We still have the gap in the teeth. Can't tell here. Or here. I didn't think we did. No, not really. So, nice little thing going on here. Very interesting story indeed. And seems to be smeared over by the media, certainly. Certainly haven't seen anything of the throw. This isn't over here, is it? Has to be. Yeah. Well, certainly we've had a transformation here.
What's up guys, this is Will with PragerU, and we're here on Rodeo Drive talking to people.
3 different springboard justices, in which case we have this upheaval. So keep an eye on that. So he was the swing vote. Now here's the other thing too that people want to keep in mind is that think about some of these people who have been on the Supreme Court. They know now once this judge has been confirmed, it's over.
Well, I had a comment on my Chapo video from a guy called Doc Sirius, and it was about Mark Taylor and the Trump prophecies, and I hadn't caught up with this. Something in the wonderland of YouTube, amongst people who are easily persuaded, of course. Now, I came across a video that's lampooning him, but this one still is into end times. He's just saying this is a fake version of end times, you know. Good old end times. Everybody can argue about the nature of the end times. Rapture now, rapture later. I'm sure anyone who watches me knows the deal on all these issues. It's all mind control on top of the next layer of mind control. And unfortunately, this guy doing this video, even though no doubt he's had a huge amount of views, no doubt, 73,000 since July 11. And this thing here has a 7. Of course, this isn't his particular video. This is where he's just cut and he's talking over the top of. But I had a comment there by Dog Sirius, and then Histros made a comment, and Dog had a bit of a go at him. Now, Dog, this is what we're looking at. You know, these guys are saying it's the 4x2 type influence, Rothschild, etc., etc. The same old dribble we hear every time. But we know that above all that, it's drinking tea. And here it is, T77, right in front of your face. I77, T77. But it's very short distances here. And the fingers tell us all as well. Yeah, I've got to have the whole thing together. Very little head there. So this is Mark Taylor, T-Y-L, Law. And he's the one with the chosen prophecy. Well, of course, the Simpsons also did the prophecy, didn't they? Because no doubt they already had it all planned for the old T-Rump to be there. And as I said before, if the person, you know, who is maybe indeed Trump died along the way, they surely have a replacement if they really want to keep with that tangent. Of course, they might have plan B. I don't know the full inner workings of the Tea Party, but we certainly have learned a lot in the last while. And pushing the old co-opted for Israel.
Bart and Benjamin Netanyahu stood in the same room together when they first created Breitbart. The alt-right is largely a contingent of Jew supporters, Israel firsters, who cover for Israel. And they've co-opted this movement. There are some dissenting voices. Paul Nealon, one of them, who's just been banned on Twitter. Someone I support.
Paul Newman. Sounds very strange. He's against the Forbies. Well, there you go. All a big mishmash of Newman like that. How was that other guy, David Nunn, and who did the book on Rupert Murdoch that had the video on? I thought that was very interesting indeed. And David and Nunn, and we know the Penguin Nunn, Diana David ideas that have been beamed at us over the years. I've covered that well in the videos I've done. But yes, Mark, you know, the gospel according to Mark. I'm a little ear there. You can see this lip here. Very, very FTN there. Yeah, so when it comes to all this tea drinking and controlling the pot of tea, I just noticed something that nobody ever seems to pay interest to certain different people that seem very, very interesting to me, including the House of Baden. If you read that there, you'll see why. And look, the descent of the kings of Sweden and the House of Holstein. And Holstein is very famous for breeding cows and other things, mixing things in petri dishes. Schleswig Holstein. Certainly I should make a video just on that. And of course all linked here to the Duke of Edinburgh and a few different ways and lines to Queen Elizabeth, etc. You know how it all works with them like a grid. And certainly scared like a puppy dog because it's still going okay here. Look, all these people behind the barricade, and they're all, oh, there he is. And that's about the strength of it, but certainly never talked about in the top of the teapot. This is the man who's controlling the teapot, no doubt more than you'd believe. This one here, Psalm. And here, castles religiously, all sort of get with the Pope, etc. But these are the people who have the cups of tea and champagne and Scotch whiskies, etc. And this guy will drink Scotch because he's related to the Hamiltons, Hamilton and Baden. And see Cecil there, always got Cecils around. So they'll be having a Scotch and deciding what the next end-time prophecy will be. No doubt they're going to have end-time prophecies on end-time prophecies because we know that they've got no nukes. And we know that the earthquakes and all that, and the way they're portrayed, it's all hype up. Maybe there's a little bit of a murmur in the earth here or there for some reason. Probably bombs on the ground for all I know, I'm not sure, but certainly all this catastrophe. Well, I've talked about this lady somewhere before in videos, and interesting death date, 8 Oct for 8, 1888. This is nearly more St. Beatrice. And here we have Stephanie for the 7 de Bohemay, maybe. This is a very, very special name too, that is for certain. Still around today. And these people have got the Bahamas on lockdown, they've got investments in India, of course, that's where all the tea comes from, and everything else under the sun. And then there's a whole lot of front men for them. You've only got to look at this one here in Monaco. Do you think they're short of a quid? It's all around, just rollover, play dead, diversification of some sort. I'll be a cousin of Napoleon. And look, Empress Eugenie of the strawberries. And the Douglas Hamiltons with the sarcophagus, obviously heavily involved in our Egypt thing. As we said before, involved in dinosaurs, everything under the sun really. And, little extensions here to Romania, Portugal, it's just a full network. And what religion these people are, I couldn't tell you. It'd be conjecture. People say, oh, they're all Jews. Yeah, well, I think they will laugh at that. I think they created everything scripted and created to me at this stage. I'd like to be proved otherwise. I can't find anything really that old. And certainly all these people in the Middle Ages, as it were, and past that, Renaissance times, have created all the history, and they still seem around today. Olens. Just absolutely got their name everywhere, all over, even in Wall Street. Hamilton in Baden. No surprises why. And if you go to Baden, there's a Hamilton district. One to the other. Britain, Germany, all of Europe, all definitely a web of intrigue about it all, but certainly all those sites and all that rubbish you see from America mostly and some from England, it's obviously, if it's thousands and thousands of views and all type, it's just there for hogwash. It's a good name, because hog is related to tea. Yes, choice is yours. Hog's back tea or hog's back bitter. Like a bit of bitter, and maybe that song, we better look at that song. The song better be likes bitter. What? Hog African pig, coffee and tea. I know what that's about. There's plenty to do with hogs and tea. That's certain. Here at the Best of Orlando, the top 5 adult drinks at Wizarding World of Harry Potter. another Hogshead Pub exclusive, Long Island iced tea. And yes, when Mark of the Gospel says he likes Paul Newman, it just occurred to me, you know, Paul and Mark both anti-synagogue with STAN. So, there you go. Paul and Mark. You just can't make all this stuff up. Of course you can. All in the land of the 777. And I couldn't help but laugh at here, the old SCOTUS. And I thought, what SCOTUS? I see Supreme Court of the USA, Scottish right. Unbelievable.
To all of you out there on the grind, making it work, we see you. We know that independent work means being your own boss, setting your own hours, the flexibility to make work for you, so you can focus on what really matters.
Well, I looked at the news today and it was just a page full of fantastic stories. And, I mean, it's always fantastic, but today was an extra level. And of all the fantastic stories, I don't think anything beats SpaceX Tesla Roadster. He said, off to space in a ragtop. And it's gone past Mars or something. Look at the trajectory here. Fantastic. I mean, you just can't get much better than this. This is certainly not for the wiser people. Only the average people, they are going to love this because they love Tesla Roadsters, they love David Bowie, and they love the Starman. And it will be just fantastic for them. Red electric convertible. Zooming away. It's a mannequin in it. They have a mannequin in it, of course. And the third burn was successful. Seeded Mars orbit and kept going to the asteroid belt. This is truly fantastic. All in a matter of days. Super speed. Accurate with the Earth. Images, here we go. Oh, we better have the images here. Still tripping me out. I'm tripping out too, Ellen. Oh, look, here it is. Watch.
10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4.
Go the crowd. Let the crowd go crazy. You're going to see the crowd. Reminds me of the Seinfeld episode with all the audience. Wow, what's going to happen here? We're going to go black in a second, of course. As we get into space. We're a lot better than the P900, that's for sure, aren't we? Where are we going? Let's just jump ahead. Wow, he's even exposed. Just floating up here. Don't panic. Oh, here they are. Here's the crowd. This guy just down here, stage 2. Here's stage, alright. This one here. Gee, this one's very little compared to this one here. Oh, well, let's just, high, medium, low. Oh, that's all you get. You don't get speed. And look at this look here. We know very well. Putting the finger up. absolutely terrific, you must admit. And 7, of course. Good set of rubber tyres here for space. I think this could make a landing, couldn't it? On one of those asteroids. We've already had that, but we haven't had a car land. And you think that would have made it a bit AI this time, man, so it sort of could talk to us as it travels through space. Certainly there is good evidence of the globe Earth, if you've ever seen one now. How can people think it's flat when you look at this here with the space car? Truly fantastic indeed. Now, you really can't trust most statistics that you ever read anyway, I must admit, but I had a comment calling me Illuminati, vegan, shill type thing by some evil something or other, Dr. Evil, and I sent him this, which clearly shows that for what agenda he reckons is around, they've certainly put in a lot more cows to feed, especially Asia. Let's go to Southeast Asia in particular, and they're pushing every sort of Western dairy product and meat product that you can to these people, because they're very new to things like yogurt, and they're getting more obese, of course. So I think the boot's on the other foot there, Mr. Evil. And especially I looked at your channel, and what did you have? You liked a video by Montegraph. Well, that's about it. That sort of, we know Montegraph is totally fantastic. Well, the question of plane flights. Question of plane flights continues, and I've just looked around, and still there is no video evidence of direct flights in the southern hemisphere, whether it's from Sydney to Santiago or Sydney to Johannesburg. Now this one here purports to be one to Johannesburg, flight 63, and look at these stills they put up. Does that look real to you? What a shocking image that they put up, one after the other stills. Look. Quick flash of a screen anyone could have made up. Yeah, quick flash of a screen, and look at this idea here. Now I'll show you, there is some real footage attached to this at the beginning for a little second or two. Get here to where it is, and I noticed this shining object. It's a strange shining object. Now look at this. Goes back away, pretending to look really in the craft here, see? And then it goes to the stills. So only get, hang on, I have to go back further. Hang on a second. Two strange objects here. Maybe they're reflections on the window of the plane, people say. That's possible those two, that other one looked a bit different. But anyway, look at this imagery. And then fade to this, see? Now, this is awfully strange here, I feel. Time to destination just happens to be 63, just like the plane flight. But irrespective of that, I'm sure this plane looks a bit big for what they usually have the plane on these monitors behind your seat. And if you look at this line here, by this map here, because look, I'll just show you Santiago was mentioned over here. Well, usually on their maps, Australia is over in this direction. So this is going from Australia, but it's not really, is it? It'd be going from somewhere in the Pacific. So that itself is pretty strange. And this is the only time we ever see such a screen in this whole flight. And when I add up the fraudulent looking imagery that they post as real, and of course no gates, nothing to substantiate they're really on this flight. The same as the one to Santiago. This is what you get. Look at this piece here, that doesn't look Really? It's really weird. Look at that straight line there. Sort of laughing at you, I think, putting that piece up. It's an angle sort of thing. But yeah, there's just nothing to say this is real. Just like they're flying over stills, are they? You know, what's the go with all these stills? Look at this. Absolutely pathetic. So that's the go. They say they're flying over the ice sheets, 65 degrees south. Yeah, from this grid patterns here, 60 degrees, as you can see there. Well, you can't. I'll just show you. That's 60 degrees. So 65 degrees. They're touching on our Antarctica. And of course, that would make sense on the globe. Not that you'd really want to go that far out, would you? Be more like that. But that's what they say, and that video, of course, proves nothing. And this certainly isn't very accurate, according to, general mainstream globalism, because, I mean, look, this is showing a heap of South America and all of Australia here. Well, when I went to the satellite image, we'll only get a bit of South America and virtually none of Australia. And Australia here, as you can see, is opposite this side, but in the airport one, it's moved around to where it's sort of opposite this edge more. So that in itself is quite interesting indeed. Oh, and a nice 7 right here, and 747, the 444, 44, beautiful. And look, it's attached to old Jeffrey here, and I've covered Jeffrey before. He's a bit of an adventurer that goes to all the places you and me can't, including North Korea, I might add. This one's a Paul Stewart. We should just have a look at Paul Stewart's channel here. Yes, just follow the money, eh? This guy's an airline specialist, and guess who's in the related channels? We can grab this thing here and move it. Sam Chewy. Sam Chewy's here, the man of the simulator fame. Simulator flight over Antarctica. You see, there's a lot of fraud here. So those people in England that can't see this, you really want to look at yourself. There's a lot of problems, and this is the big one in many ways, because the people can really see this once we show this totally. And I wish I lived in Sydney, because I would have already gone to the gates and looked. I'm calling on people to do that. And if you're around it, perhaps you get down the airport and show us these gates. Show us it on the board and talk to people who are going on the flight. That'd be a start, wouldn't it now? You won't be able to do that because there's nobody there. Yes, you see, this is not independent evidence in any stretch or fashion. Not at all. And the evidence that presented is so shoddy, it really puts big question marks up. It's getting worse than even Matt Egan tonight, in my opinion. At least there was some interaction there, Max talking to us, but again, no gates, no real proof. And that's what we're looking for. But as I said, I don't think it'll be coming anytime soon. I think this last thing here that I'm showing, I think it's about seals, really. But it would be good if somebody could go and substantiate. Just go to the time in Sydney or in Santiago, and you'll see there'll be no gate number. And if there is, there'll be nobody actually waiting at the gate. Well, it doesn't get much stranger than this, does it? The fantastic nature of the reality of the media. Now, we know Facebook and YouTube aren't super friendly with certain things, but this one they're going to run. And it just shows you we are in a fantastic reality.
That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we did go there, and I that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something,
Well, there you go. Straight out of the horse's mouth. This, of course, should be fairly viral amongst the people who are interested in things. Can they share this still with their friends? This is a bit of a strange thing. This is a bit of a test case or something you're doing here. Man, what an odd image here, the way this is on his shoulder. I mean, you just couldn't get more surreal if you tried, could you? And we saw Buzz, of course, when he was there, I think, with Donald Trump. He was falling apart. But that will be more the thing. Oh, Buzz is losing it. Of course we went or something, I'm not sure. But it's all getting just too strange for me, in fact. I don't know what you think. This is one of the strangest things, and funny how this won't be pulled up.
we need to know why something stopped in the past if we wanted to keep it going.
Of course, there's a slight loophole here for NASA apologists. They'll say, no, he was saying that we didn't return, just by the question. It can be taken both ways, in a way. Notice Behold My Heart, though, when he answers it too.
Hero's question. That's my question. I want to
Get
know,
to play it.
but I think I...
Yeah, there you go.
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question.
Oh, yes, that's your question, alright. So you can see it, really they still have a loophole, but isn't it all getting very odd indeed? But of course it's been rather strange from the get-go. Very fantastic indeed, because this guy here is a Percy, I think it's David Percy, from the Royal Institute of Astronomy from Oxford, no doubt.
High camera examples and not isolated ones. Here's a picture of Albion of Apollo 12, also taken from too high a camera position. The camera is looking down on the subject, belying the reflection in the visor.
So yes, you can read this yourself here. The most powerful, noble family in the north of England. And then they come out and tell us they didn't go to the moon. All getting very strange indeed, isn't it now? It's a very strange bunch, the Percy family. They've got feet in every pie. Well, recently I talked about Mary Queen of Scots being Mary Darnley. Of course, we had that name in the press recently. And now we have the ghostly image of Mary Darnley.